How's it all going? Welcome to another video upload from Aspie with Attitude, an autistic YouTube content creator channel. When I explain the life hacks and what life is like being on the autism spectrum, and sometimes I do all the fun stuff to talk about Lego. Well, unfortunately though, I will not be talking about my Lego, since that you're watching the autistic life hack video content right now. And if you like what I do in this channel, please why not subscribe to Aspie with Attitude? That way you're showing more support for my autistic YouTube channel, Aspie with Attitude. And also you can ring this notification bell if you want to keep up to date with Aspie with Attitude. And one more thing you can do to support this channel, if you please, like and share this video content around. That way you're showing more support for my channel, Aspie with Attitude. And now I'm glad to finish my introduction, since I'm going to get right into the contents right now. As an autistic individual, how are we expected to behave and present ourselves while we're being in public places? It's all common sense that public spaces are the domain of neurotypical driven society. It is most likely there are a handful of members of the general public who have the tendency to look down upon other members of the public who appear to be odd, and of course from the mainstream. Since I am an autistic individual who is living independently, I'm talking about that I live all by myself. I rely being present in public spaces in order to commute and function in life. I am talking about using public transports, such as buses and trains, in order to get to and from work every single day. And another public space that I rely going to are supermarkets. I go there to purchase all the important essentials like groceries. Public transports and supermarkets is to name two different public spaces, and they're both neurotypically driven areas in the public domain. In public places, by law, we need to follow the social norms to maybe avoid members of the general public to discriminate towards those who act odd and be off course from the mainstream of society. The effects on autistic people are always different depending on sensory challenges and how they can non-verbally communicate, such as observing body language from any random people who walk in general public. Not everyone in the general public would understand what autism is. Those people are likely to think differently from the meaning of autism, and they can fall into a trap of prejudice and discrimination, especially towards autistic individuals. For an autistic individual who are seen in the general public are likely to stim, just like how you see me move my arms all about while I'm talking here. Most members in the general public are unlikely to understand the principles of stimming, then maybe assume or opinionate on the autistic individual who stim out in public places. The worst comes to worst is they may start believing that the autistic person who's stimming in public happens to be criminally insane. We can't fight discrimination with discrimination. The reason why autistic individuals need to stim is so they can self-regulate, especially if they have some sort of sensory challenges that are hidden in public places. Even it's common some autistic individuals may have strange walking patterns, as I'll talk you through as I show you mine from all my Walk With Me videos. So when focusing or navigating through public places, it's difficult to notice our walking patterns. If we have the need for stimming, it may affect the way we walk. I wouldn't be walking through shops and other public places with a fidget spinner like how I walk with a fidget spinner in my Walk With Me video uploads. Sometimes the way I need to stim may be affecting the way I walk, since it's a challenge to at times walk in public places the neurotypical way. Unusual walking patterns are common on most autistic individuals. If it's true that I walk funny, then I might as well just go ahead and embrace autism, only if I can't help myself, since learning to walk in a neurotypical way can be at times emotionally exhausting. What you're seeing in the Walk With Me videos is just the way I walk, only if you could imagine me without walking with a fidget spinner in my fingertips. I had decided to leave this until last is to explain how autistic individuals may go about dressing in public. Well, since I have very strong obsession about clothes, especially what I'm wearing here, just to stand up for a bit, this makes it a very hard topic, and I'd like to go on another track. As one example, explain teenage youths who present themselves in public, and none of the youths that I'll be describing are on the autism spectrum, and I'll talk about these teenage kids are neurotypical. It was the end of April 2023 I had made this video content. At that time, it has been a fashion for teenagers to wear the full Nike high-tech fleece tracksuits, and in terms of shoes, like they wear the Air Max 90s or the Nike TNs, and they'll often style their hair with a mullet haircut, and we're talking about looking like Billy Ray Cyrus or either Rod Stewart, and they'll have a thing called vaporizers, and they will vape in areas where they should not be allowed to vape, causing a bit of a smoke. In the smoke, it often smells like lollies or candy, whichever way you want to describe it. Although they're neurotypical, it is likely that these kids will swear in public and vape in smoke-free zones. It's like how in the United Kingdom they'll have their chavs, and over in the United States of America they'll have their homies, while here in Australia we have our ashays. Those teenage youths that I'm describing here are likely the ones who would stand out in public, and those kids are just fun-loving rebels of general public, and just some thing they'll grow out of by the time when they're 18, 19 years old, since these kids are just going through this phase right now and trying to make the most of life while they're still young. Like we're talking about those who are maybe 14, 15, 16 or 17 years old. As they all stand out in general public, more than some autistic individuals, they're likely to be questioned by police or authority. And not all teenage kids with Nike high-tech fleece tracksuits and mullet haircuts are all rebellious. I only had said that as an example, how other members of the general public would judge or discriminate any individuals who stand out, since some members of the public who are on the right side of the law would often judge these teenage kids to be criminals, and while most of them aren't. They're just kids just having fun. Before I finish this video content, I'd like to tell you a quick story when I was 21 years old, which happened in September 2001 on our family vacation in New Zealand when we hired a massive RV. And what we did in the 2 weeks is we travelled the roads of New Zealand exploring both islands. And I'll talk about this one stay at a caravan park when I had one of the staff had saw me go on a bit of elopement around the camping grounds as I aimlessly wandered around stretching out my legs after taking this long road trip. And I did dress up like those teenage kids in their Nike tracksuits, like I said before. It just happened that I did wear my full Nike tracksuit back in September 2001 as a 21-year-old. And what happened was, my father had overheard the staff who had judged and discriminated me for being this autistic essay who was just wandering around and my quirky autistic behaviour. And then, meanwhile, after when my father was shocked to hear about that from the staff, how they were discriminating me, he sat me down, gave me a bit of counselling, gave me a bit of lecture, and spoke to me like that I had ruined our family vacation in New Zealand just because the staff at that caravan park had discriminated my autistic behaviour. And that's how easily that an autistic individual could be discriminated, especially appearing in public places like shopping centres, whether it's public transport or supermarkets, and that caravan park that I had explained. Since that I'd like to keep this long story short, since I am just about done with this video content, explaining in my own opinion how me as an autistic individual, to give you some understanding what it's like to be autistic in general public places, and just for you to sort of pretty much get insight and get a solid start to understand what it's like being autistic in general public. So that's what this video is all about. You can always leave a comment down below to let me know what you think. Yeah, since I'm actually getting a bit husky, since I had to go over pretty much the whole script, since I'm done now, and I think it's just time to show off, chill out and relax. And here we go. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening to Aspie with Attitude, peace and respect, and see you next time.